friends, welcome back to Authentically Blonde. I'm Casey.
I'm Lexi.
And today we're going to be talking about unhealthy or toxic friendships. Unfortunately, Lexi and I have both dealt with different forms of toxic friendships, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's anything. But today specifically, we want to talk about unhealthy friendships. These kind of friendships are those that cause you stress, anxiety, sadness. You start to see yourself changing in a way that you don't really want or are not proud of. And we're going to kind of talk through that today.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go through some signs that we've kind of picked up on that have helped us recognize those people who we do want in our lives and who we don't want in our lives. So the first sign that we're gonna talk about is if you're giving this person more than you're getting. So obviously friendships should be flexible and you gotta give your friends grace if they're going through hard things. But if it's kind of just a thing where you're always giving and there's no reciprocation over a long period of time, that's when you know that friendship's probably not gonna be sustainable and you really want people there who are going to give back to you what you're putting into that friendship.
And again, it's not just circumstantial. If there's a season of life that they're not pouring back into you, don't cut them out of your life. We hope that we wouldn't have friends during our volleyball season just cut us out of our lives completely because
we kind of go MIA.
Because we go MIA because we're so busy. Yeah. But if it's a friendship where it's just constant, I think we all know the difference and be mindful of that. So another sign that you may be in a toxic or unhealthy friendship is if you're starting to realize that you can't trust your friend. And honestly, trust is the biggest foundation in friendships and relationships, in any relationship, really. So this could look like you telling them a secret and realizing that maybe they told it to someone else, or you hear them talking behind someone else's back, because then you can kind of assume a lot of the time, unfortunately, if you hear someone talking bad about someone else, that they might be talking bad about you behind your back as well. Mm-hmm. Or if they're sharing secrets with you from another friend, you can assume that maybe they aren't the best person to tell your secrets to. So that's another sign of an unhealthy friendship.
Yeah. For example, I thought I was pretty good friends with this person, and one day I walked in and this person was literally crap talking me and I could hear it and I was like, that's a new one.
Yeah, and that's not a good look.
And I was like, oh, okay, let's talk about this.
So that's just an example of an unhealthy friendship. I think we can all agree.
Yeah. So that person I can't trust because they're saying untrue things about me, quite literally behind my back. A third sign is that if you just don't enjoy hanging out with them, maybe this person's just sucking the life out of you. I don't know, I've had a friend who would complain 24/7. And we're all guilty of complaining about things.
I'm queen of complaining.
Yes, but usually it should have some sort of positive spin, just not be all the time.
Yeah.
So if they're just being negative and they're not helping you become a better person because you feed off each other's energy, quite literally, when you connect with someone, you're feeding off each other's energy. And you can't just make excuses for them all the time. Obviously, if they're going through something, you need to be there for them, but if it's a constant, this person is really just a downer, then you need to be surrounded with people who uplift you.
And you should like your friends. There's people that you have hard times with, but if they're gonna be in your core friends, you should probably like them. I don't know. Just a thought. Another sign of a friendship being unhealthy or toxic would be if you just do not like who you are when you're with them. So, for example, what if you just really do not like swearing, you don't swear, and you hang out with a certain group of friends and all they do is swear, every other word.
Whatever.
And then you start picking that up and then you realize, that's not what I want to do. Or maybe you want friends that go outdoors all the time. Or you're with friends that just sit on their phone all day and you're like, okay, well when I'm with them I sit on my phone all day. There's so many different things like that to be mindful of, and if you're not liking who you're becoming when you're with this person, that's probably an unhealthy friendship. And that doesn't mean you need to cut them out of your lives, but it's important to recognize, okay, I'm like this when I'm around this person, is this the direction I want my life to go?
Alright, so we just kind of went through some signs of unhealthy friendships, and now we're going to talk about ways to actually go about removing these people from your life, because that is an okay thing to do if they are toxic to your life. So there's three kind of different approaches that we've been reading up about and just researching, and so the first one sounds really dramatic, but it's called the slow fade.
The slow fade.
It's kind of like drama sounding, but honestly, it is what it is, the slow fade.
So this is like the more non-confrontational approach where you're just like kind of taking steps back, as the slow fade kind of sounds like. Maybe you're not texting this person as much, you're not asking them to hang out. You don't have to like not reply to their stuff, but just reduce the amount of contact that you're having with them.
Just getting some space. And sometimes this is the best thing you could possibly do for a friendship. If you are feeling like they are in a state of being so negative and you just need space from them, try the slow fade. Give them some space. They'll probably recognize that you're getting space and confront you, which is totally fair for them to do. And it's fair for you to say, you know what, I'm just not loving the negative energy that I feel comes on to me when I hang out with you. And maybe that can be the best thing for your friendship because you guys can work through that. Or it could just make you realize, you know what, life is kind of better without this person. Sounds savage, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. There, I said it.
Okay, so the second approach we're going to talk about is called the friend breakup. Ooh. And it's literally like you're breaking up with girlfriend or boyfriend. You're breaking up with this friend.
It's so rough.
So this is maybe how the conversation could go. Hey. Hey, maybe you've noticed we haven't been able to spend as much time together. I just want you to know that I think that my life is moving in a different direction, and I just really don't see this friendship being kind of sustainable at the moment, and I wish you all the best, but right now, like, we're just going on different paths. And that's like totally fair to say, because if you're going on a different path in life, don't let someone else hold you back.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean you need to be savage and turn around and talk your friend that you just told that you didn't want to be friends with anymore. You still need to do everything with respect. And make sure that you're still being respectful to yourself and your friend that, or I guess ex-friend, since you just broke up with them.
Damn.
So it all comes down to still being respectful, even though they might not be the healthiest person in your life.
The third way is the harshest way, but sometimes necessary, is where you just completely drop the person. If this person is just causing you emotional trauma, they're just not there for you, all kinds of bad things, then drop them.
That's what we call a toxic friendship as opposed to an unhealthy friendship.
Yes.
If they're so toxic that you need them out of your life, you honestly don't really owe them an explanation, because hopefully they would know by then that they're being, or even if they didn't know, you don't owe them anything if they're causing you emotional trauma. And again, it comes down to respect. You still want to respect them and not turn around and say all these mean things about them. But it's totally fair to cut people out of your life that are not there for you and are just emotionally scarring and traumatizing. So
Emotionally scarring. Okay, also it's not easy to do any of this on your own, so we really encourage you to seek help for any of this. Okay, maybe you're going to another friend for advice. Again, not crap talking the person, but just asking for their honest opinion, or you can go to your parents, counselors, etc. Make sure you're not in this alone, so.
yeah, and unfortunately Lexi and I have had to do all of these things in different ways we're proud of, ways we're not proud of. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that you're not alone if you have friendships that you want to figure out how to reevaluate or take a step back or completely cut out. It's totally normal. Again, you just want to respect the other person even if they don't seem to be respecting you.
Alright, so how about some advice to our younger selves, Casey?
I'm gay.
Not Casey.
Hello?
Hey, get out of
I
here.
said, what?
Where did Casey go?
God.
Sorry.
What are you doing, man? Advice to our younger selves. Lexi, why don't you take it away?
Okay, I would say to my younger self that I wish I would just recognize toxic people earlier on. So when I was in middle school, I had this really solid group of friends that I kind of ditched them in high school to be
A popular volleyball girl?
apparently, like, that's not cool of me. And so when I started hanging out with these other people, I just felt myself really drained by all this emotional up and down drama that was not helping my life, and probably would not have happened if I had stayed with these other people that I were really close to. And so honestly, just recognizing that these people are not healthy for me and trying to get out of those relationships sooner than I did.
I would probably say that I would want to tell my younger self to focus on the quality of my friends rather than the quantity. I think it's so easy, especially in middle school, and I found even in high school, to think the more friends I have, the better. And that is not necessarily true. I found now that I have less friends, but they're super deep friendships, like my friendship with Lexi or roommate Jess or Gabe. And And I would tell myself, my younger self, that it's okay to have fewer friends if the connection's deeper and not to get stressed out about how many friends you have, because that in the end does not mean anything. So yeah, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and make sure to subscribe. See you
Bye.
next time.